Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So All Around Town Radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So All Around Town Radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio show. The All Around Town Radio.
Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program on a Wednesday. I'm Scott Hall, your host here at All Around Town Radio, and it's Wednesday with the band. Well, where'd we go today? I don't know what happened. Hello? Interesting. There we go. Now I can hear myself. All right. Let me kill that. Thank you, Sweet Sister Mercy, for that wonderful theme song. And yeah, it's awesome. Wednesday with the band today here at All Around Town Radio, guys. It's 5 o'clock here in beautiful downtown Springboro, Ohio, where the studios come from. Your home for everything music in the tri-state. And we've got a great group with us today, a band that I've had an opportunity to see a few times. And let me tell you what, when you see them, they bring the party. They do. It's a great time. Playing last couple years, Christmas in Springboro, when it was subarctic. And let me welcome to you today, guys, our friends from Vinyl Countdown in the house. How you doing?
Everybody.
Hey guys,
how are you today? I've got.
Great.
Am I going to mess it up? Is it Celia or Cecilia?
It's Celia.
Celia. All right. I've heard people call you both, and I never knew. Speaking of people, we've got a lot of people checking in already on the show. Todd and Cecilia, or hold on, Celia.
It's okay. I have heard it all my life. So.
You know, have you been hearing that your whole
Celia.
life? Because
Celia.
every time I do that, I just feel like I should play this. You know, I should go. Yes. All right. I screw up names all the time. Welcome, guys. We are not live from the WKRP in Cincinnati studios, but it is All Around Town Radio's Wednesday with the band. You guys are here to tell people about you today and to also make a very important announcement.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me say I'm fanboying a little bit. I love your band. I love your energy. I love the way you interact with the crowd. You're everything we always talk about on our shows being the right thing to do with the band. So tell us a little bit about Vinyl Countdown, if you will.
Well, first off, thanks, Scott. That's quite an honor coming from you, man.
Thank you.
And luckily, I have a name that's easy to pronounce and remember, so that helps out a little bit. So Vinyl Countdown was we're on our fourth year. We have about 4 years in. We lost the year with COVID, of course, like everyone did. And it kind of started with a few of us who have been playing together for about 18 years. And then bringing Celia in to as the secret weapon. You know, a lot of people obviously knew Celia could sing. She comes from a theater background, but she had never sang in a band before. So we put this band together for her, basically. And
I'm grateful that they did.
For her to be able to sing. And the only thing she needed to kind of learn to do was how to front a band. And she pretty much was a quick learner when it comes to that. So it took her no time to get up and running, and kind of here we are with that. So we're about 4 years in and having a great time.
Yes.
Well, and you just did it for me. You told me, and now I understand. I was today years old when I learned that Celia has a theater background. It makes total sense now. It does.
Yes. I was a theater minor in college, and I always wanted to be in the band for years. I would watch Todd go to gigs and was like, "Can I sing, please? Please, just one song like Madonna, just one song, guys. That's all I want." But basically, I had to be a really quick learner. And even though the guys took months and months to kind of prepare me and get me ready, being in a band is not at all like being in the theater. Honestly, it is not. It is, in my opinion, sorry to say it, theater people, I've done both. It is much harder. It is much harder to be in a band because theater is very rehearsed and very set. And we try to be very spontaneous with everything. Even though we do have a set plan, things happen and you want to enjoy the moment and you want people to enjoy the moment as well. And if something happens that you can play off and make the show even better, then you need to capitalize upon that. Honestly. And, when I did theater, maybe I would sing 5 songs a night if I was lucky. And now I'm singing, 40. And that's much more taxing.
I'm going to say this too. I think people go to the theater. They go with expectations of seeing a theater production and they know kind of what they're going to go see. So they're there for that purpose. But when people go out and see live music, they may have just kind of stumbled into that place and this live music's being played. And they're not always there to know what they're going to see. They're there sometimes to judge and to see how well you can interact and get that crowd motivated. And you know how it is. Some nights are tougher than others to get the crowd going.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
It's like, can I go out there and light a fire under their chairs and get these people up? And then other nights, like I've seen you like at Heather's, the Christmas and Springboro thing, my goodness. You hit the first note and there's 50 people on the dance floor. So, some nights they're just there to party, I guess.
You are right there.
Thankfully, because we needed that to keep warm. We needed to get in there tight with the body heat.
Oh, that was brutal that night. That was so, I don't know how you played that night, but let's talk about the members of your band too. Let's give them a big shout out if we can here, because it's just the two of you here. And I know there's more than that. And then we've got a little announcement we're going to make later. We'll keep everybody in suspense for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, first off, our drummer, Devin, Devin and I we've been friends for a lot of years. We went to the same high school, although he's not here right now, so I can say it. He's older than I am. Just a little older. And so I've been playing with him about 18 years. And we're ex-brother-in-laws. We still consider each other to be brothers. And so, just a great guy.
I have known Devin my entire life. We are distantly related cousins because we grew up in Russellville in Brown County, very small town. Devin was actually my grandma's neighbor. So I had a big crush on him when I was a little kid, but I like to tell him that and tease him sometimes. But I've known Devin longer than I've even known Todd.
Yeah, Todd, you're getting a shout out from Hollywood down at Pullman Lane saying nice hat.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Hollywood.
sir. Yes, I wear it every chance I get.
We know where those came from, the Hollywood Trucker Hat Collection.
That's right, yes.
He's got some good ones, too. He does. I've got one behind me somewhere back there, I think. Do I have? Yeah, I got the Disco Fever one on the back there on the bench.
Nice.
So.
I got a safety dance one somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Well, keep rolling with your band members. We want to know about the band here. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, so, to be quite honest with you, part of the reason we're here tonight also, that's actually our only other band member so we had some bad luck at the end of 2022, beginning of 23. We knew we were going to be replacing a guitar player, longtime guitar player and friend, SJ, decided to retire from the scene. And we kind of knew it was coming. And so we had some backup plans and things in place that we had all agreed on and talked about, and they fell through. So that kind of put us, without a guitar player and without any options for guitar playing or a guitar player. And then we ended up unexpectedly losing our keyboard player. So we kind of went from the high point of our career, and actually my 20 plus year career of playing the Bengals pregame at the Banks on January.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, January 2nd. Yeah. Couldn't ask for better weather, 65 degrees on a January 2nd. And 15,000 people. That's was pretty amazing. And then we went from that high to finding out that we were losing another member. So that's kind of put us at a bit of a tailspin. But
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We, initially it was like, what do we do? And, you just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you keep going because this is what we love and this is what we want to do. So we're going to do anything we can to try to make it happen and keep the party going. We're a party band, like you said, so we want to keep that party going. And we truly love what we do and we are blessed to be able to do it. So we want to keep that going. So we got Todd here.
Well, we have a stubborn streak about us that, we don't quit. And so like we weren't going to quit when that happens. We knew that it would take some time and effort to find replacements. And we already had January off because we always take January off to kind of take a break and add songs. So we had already planned on February off. And then unfortunately we've kind of keep backing our year up a little bit. But we're in good shape and we're looking forward to a really good 2023. But that's kind of like, that's the band members right now. Yeah.
And Todd and I.
Yeah.
Todd and I.
All right.
We've been together for 22 years. So.
And there's one more person I got to give a shout out to, Scott, as far as band members, and that is Steve Moore. He's our booking guy and manager, whatever you want to call him. He kind of wears a lot of hats, and he's another friend of ours who went to the same high school, but much older than us. And and so if Steve's listening or listens later, we owe a lot to him because he's the one who handles the booking and all of the communication and management of contracts and all of that. So he's definitely the sixth member of the band.
Well, and definitely always want to thank our sound men. Yeah. We have Robin and Jerry, we have Joe and Nick, and they always do their best to try to make us sound the best that we possibly can. So always want to give a shout out to them because there really would not be a show without our great sound people.
Yeah. Without production, it never happens. And that's a good point to bring up. And I'm glad when bands do recognize those who make it happen behind the scenes more than out front on the mic. And that's cool to hear. Let me say hi to a couple people, guys. We've got Ed Stawicki, photographer to the Rock Stars, is on here. Looks like Mike from the Whammies. Hi, Mike. Thank you for being with us today.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, Wanda and Paul say hi, according to Kent there, just to you guys. All right.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Celia, will you do me a favor? I can't see on my screen your shirt, but everybody's commenting about it. What is it?
There you go. Oh, I got to go this way. It's Abe's Lincoln.
Oh,
Cincinnati band.
Another Cincinnati band.
Yes.
We need to get him on the show. We need to get him on the show someday, too.
Yeah, they're a great band.
I want to see those guys.
So many great bands in Cincinnati. We are truly blessed.
The scene is
in our area.
Billy Rock Band in the house. How you doing?
Billy Rock.
I'm gonna work with them. We're gonna talk at the end of the show about Autism Rocks here. Billy Rock Band playing in that. But let's kind of segue into this one. How did the band get its name, Todd?
Well, go for it.
Well, we've it's not the cool story that I would love for it to be. It's we were throwing around some names. We actually, the last band that our previous guitar player SJ and myself and Devin were in, we were called the Barcodes for several years. And then so when we brought Celia on, we tried going as the Bar Chords for a while, which wasn't the most rocking name, but we needed something to tell the owners of the venues we were booking. And we just kind of sat around.
We were just sitting around talking about basically the music that we all liked. And somebody started talking about records, and they missed having vinyl basically around and listening to like an entire album all the way through, and how good that felt when they would get an album.
And the resurgence in vinyl,
Amen.
Yeah, and we just kind of threw it out, and they were like, okay, well, and we were throwing out vinyl names, and somebody, I want to say it was SJ, threw out, hey, what about like Vinyl Countdown? And we're like, yeah.
So
that's it.
Yeah, so a quick search to make sure there weren't any other local bands named that. I think there are a few.
There's one in Texas.
There's one in Texas, and there's a vinyl store somewhere named Vinyl Countdown. But we didn't see any other bands, so we're like, let's run with it. Yeah. And not only that, it's also it pays homage to our Celia, myself, SJ, and our original keyboard player Brady, all huge 80s hair metal fans.
It's my favorite.
And that's one of the things when we got this band together, we wanted to. We thought about doing only 80s hair metal. There's so many great bands already do it. By the way, Sweet Sister Mercy with the theme song there, we love those guys. So it kind of was like combine the popularity of vinyl with our love of 80s hair metal, and so we love Europe. We love the band Europe, and so that's kind of it. And it had a nice ring to it, and we drew up a logo. We had a person draw us up a logo that we really liked, and once we saw it on the logo, and we just kind of fell in love with it and decided to stick with it.
Well, and for those that have never seen Vinyl Countdown before, when they do that Europe song, they do sing it as Vinyl Countdown. I've heard of that. And
but I changed
cool.
the ending around a little bit.
Kind of their theme song, so to speak. And, you guys have so much energy on stage, but you said 80s hair metal there and all that, but you play a variety of stuff. How did you select your musical style? I mean, is it just evolved over time with the band, or did you come into this that way?
I think it's evolved. When we started off, we want to play songs that we want to play. Now, I'm coming into it as kind of a newbie at the time, but the other guys have been playing in bands for years and years, and they had played all different genres. They would play a Black Eyed Peas song, and then the next song they would play like the Beastie Boys, and then they would play like a hair metal song. And they said, we would really like to just focus on 70s and 80s rock music and songs that we really want to play rather than just going to so many different genres. And I told them, I said, well, that's my favorite time period, are the 70s and 80s. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And I love Pat Benatar and Joan Jett. They're some of my favorites, but I really love singing the hair metal stuff. And I love seeing people's faces when I start singing an AC/DC song, because they just don't expect me to do it. And I love doing that.
Some of those songs can be brutal on the old vocal cords too, because those 80s guys, they had what I said, the magic set of pliers to make them sing that high. Because and I've seen women that have great high registers struggle with some of those songs when you're talking like Skid Row and some of those bands.
No way. It is not the same. Those gentlemen really have it locked in with the falsetto for sure.
We try to make sure. We try to make sure to, one of the things we focused on from the beginning is trying to stay in Celia's wheelhouse. It's pretty much when we decide if we're going to do a song, we practice and have her sing it. And if it's something that we, even if she does decent at it, but she's not comfortable, or we don't think it kind of highlights her vocals or whatever, we typically don't do it. And that's kind of like the top priority when it comes to the song. But we have evolved in as far as our selection of, used to kind of just be the arena rock, the Journey, the Foreigner, Styx, and then the 80s hair metal. But also we started adding more of the kind of like some Tina Turner and a little bit of funk and like the Aha and some of the dancier stuff too. Just Footloose and things like that are a little more dancier and a little less rocking. But we also try to rock them up a little bit and put our own spin on them the best that we can. But that was the reason the band started, was as an arena rock band. And we're like, we don't know any guys that can sing that stuff, so we need Celia to come in and sing the stuff for us.
Well, there's very few Mark Robinsons in the world, I will say.
Yes, he is definitely one of them. Yes,
you got that right.
Little fun story about Mark, real quick, is Celia a couple years back was looking for. She kept complaining about her microphone stand being too heavy, and so I looked everywhere to try to find lighter mic stands. I couldn't find anything as far as commercially, and I was seeing Sweet Sister Mercy at the Bell and the Bear one night, and I noticed he was slinging his microphone stand around pretty easily. So I just went up. I said, hey, you mind if I take a look at your stand? And he said, pick this thing up. And I picked it up, and it weighed like 2 pounds. And I asked him, I said, that's exactly what my wife needs. And he gave me the guy's name where he got it made down in Atlanta. And so fast forward, I called the guy in Atlanta and got her the same mic stand that Mark uses. So thanks Mark. For that, Mark.
Well, and that's a great example of the Cincinnati music community. They're helping each other out and all the things that go on. It's a beautiful music community in Cincinnati. I mean, the folks, like you said, we're so blessed to have so many great bands. Absolutely. And, they're not to discount the country folks. There's a lot of country people playing that, but the rock community in Cincinnati, going back into the 70s, 80s, and then to now, I mean, all the guys that are playing and gals, it's a pretty cool list of people who you can pick from to go see on any given night. And you guys are one of them. And I totally love your show. I love the energy. I love the I guess, lack of a better, the props, the stuff like that you throw out there.
Those inflatable instruments are awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. The inflatable guitar competition that went on was amazing to watch as well.
Well,
But
thank you.
let me ask you two. I want to dig deep. We've got a few more minutes left with you two. I want to dig deep a little bit. And the dog can bark. It's all right.
It was her birthday yesterday. She's still all pumped up from her birthday double cheeseburger last night.
Oh, there we go. Hey, you guys, name some musical influences. Some people that have influenced you to be rock stars on the stage.
Okay, well, Pat Benatar for sure for me, and Joan Jett, absolutely. I love the Wilson sisters, for sure. I one thing I really love about Joan Jett, I've told people, because I'm pretty sweaty and kind of disgusting by the end of our show, and that's okay. I own it. And I always look at it this way. When Joan Jett leaves the stage, she does not look pretty. She is a sweaty mess because she's trying to give absolutely everything she possibly can to the audience. And I laugh because they'll be like, oh, you're so sweaty. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't come off the stage sweaty, then I didn't give it everything I had tonight. Except Springboro when it was
too cold
2 degrees.
Sweat, yeah.
But yeah.
If you sweat that night, you'd have been frozen to death.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always love those ladies, but I also was really heavily influenced by rock music, like the Scorpions and the Beatles and all the hair metal bands. My brother was really big into the hair metal bands, so I constantly heard it coming from his room underneath mine as a kid. And my mom always had rock music playing when we were at home, always.
Yeah.
What about you, Todd?
Well, a lot of the same. C and I, a lot of people that know us know this. We actually dated in high school. And we were going to see, that was kind of a resurgence there of some of the classic rock bands that were starting to tour again in the early 90s, mid 90s. So we were going to see Styx and REO Speedwagon and Steve Miller Band, and that was kind of, I had a group of older friends, probably 8 to 10 years older than me. And they got me into Boston's one of my favorite bands of all time. Again, Styx, Cheap Trick,
Leonard Skinner.
That's probably my second favorite band of all time. So that's kind of the core of my influences. But my first 7-8 years of playing music, I played in pop punk bands. I was a guitar player, and singer in a pop punk band, and all originals. We wrote all of our own music, and so I have that influence too. I'm big Ramones, and then even up into the 90s punk bands, with the Green Day, Blink-182. So I kind of have the classic rock mixed in with the punk rock, especially the pop punk, a little more the bubblegum type punk as opposed to the real hardcore. A big Offspring fan, so it's probably one of my favorite bands ever. And we like a lot of variety. The only thing I don't like, I always tell people, and I'm not a big fan of new country. I always appreciate and respect it, but I was raised on the old country. That's what my parents listened to, and my vacations growing up, I remember always Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Alabama, whoever it was. That's what I was kind of raised on. Yeah,
absolutely. Good music back in those days, and I'm not a huge. I joke about it being tractor rap today, but I'm not a huge fan of the new country. There's some good stuff out there. There's some great independent artists out there right now in the country world, and and if you watch the Super Bowl, how could you not like Chris Stapleton?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love his voice.
Absolutely slayed that. But let's do the announcement.
Okay.
We've got a big announcement to make. Let's just get right to it. And then I've got one more question. One more question before you go. But should I lead into this with a drum roll or anything?
Yes,
go for it, please.
There we go. All right. That was enough of a drum roll. Here we go. You've got the stage. You guys are
all right. So first off, Scott, thanks for having us on here, and it's been great talking with you. We wanted to get on tonight and announce we've hit a couple bumps in the road. We haven't played since January 2nd, but we've been hard at it trying to get our band piece back together, and we're super, super happy and stoked tonight to announce that we have found our guitar player. His name is Mr. Zach Rubble, and just a cool cat. I mean, he's just a really cool dude, and we've been getting to know him, jamming with him a little bit here, and he reached out to us from an ad we put out, and we just kind of started talking, and from there it's really worked out and gelling together nicely. And he's new to the scene, so I don't think it's a name that a lot of people are going to recognize, but he's very experienced. He was out in Vegas for several years working in original projects, and he was actually the Angus Young role in an AC/DC tribute band. He was
played in Nashville.
Nashville as a studio, session guitarist, and working the circuit there in Nashville 5-6 days a week. So and now he's back in the Cincinnati area and looking for a band that we kind of checked all the boxes, and he checked all of our boxes. So it's a privilege to announce Zach, and
Zach Rubel.
We can't wait for people.
Rubel, sorry.
Yeah, not
I
Rubel.
always say Rubel.
We were at
Studio 54 or something else.
So Zach Rubel again, new
Zach
Vinyl
Rubel.
Countdown guitarist. He looks like a rock star. He's a
We're
little
gonna have
young.
to step up our game.
He's a little younger than us, so he's bringing some new energy and some youth to the band, and we're just real excited to have Zach on board with us.
Yes.
Outstanding. Well, there's a new member of the band, guys, and we're happy to hear about that, and happy to hear you're going to be out there playing again soon, because we have missed you. And
we've missed all of you.
Yes.
We're still on the hunt for a keyboard
we're still
player.
auditioning keyboard players.
Yes.
So if you know any keyboard players that
Send them
that
our
want
way.
to rock out with us, send them our way. We're auditioning. We're auditioning a couple this coming weekend. And then that'll be the final piece to get us back out there. And right now we're scheduled to hit the stage again in April. And we have a great year booked. Lots and lots of cool shows, lots of cool venues, festivals, just some really cool things.
We miss everybody.
Certainly good luck with the keyboard player. That's one of the toughest assignments to find in local music. There's just not a lot of them out there. It's such a backbone to the type of music you guys play. So I hope you land a good one. And
You are right there.
Let's talk about this. First of all, how can people find you out there and know what your band's schedule is?
Okay. Well, the biggest thing's Facebook. Vinyl Countdown Cincy is our Facebook page, and we keep it pretty up to date. We post pretty often. Our schedule right now, there's a lot of shows on there, but we actually haven't released our full 2023 schedule yet. We're working on that right now. That's the best way. Facebook. We do have an Instagram page, same Vinyl Countdown Cincy, but I have to say I feel a little old for Instagram. I don't keep up with it real well, and I don't understand it. And
we need to get like a 12-year-old to teach us.
Well, maybe Zach
Yes.
again. He's not that young, but maybe Zach can help us, and we'll see if he can.
There we go.
Kind of adopt that role as well. But just Facebook, and Say and I both share from our personal pages on Facebook quite a bit. I know Zach will be as well. And, our shows are on there, and then eventually we'll get a schedule, a graphic up for everybody for the year, and just kind of stay tuned. So we'll, hopefully we have another announcement to make next week about keyboards. So
fingers crossed.
You're getting some great comments here. Abe's Lincoln giving you a shout out there and saying, Zach,
love Abe, Brad,
guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Brad welcoming Zach, Anita. Thank you, Anita, for that. Let me get that back up there. There we go. So a lot of people out there fanning on you guys today, and that's a good thing.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Again, the support out of the Cincinnati music community, they'll be standing behind you and ready to help in any way they can. And Shane's looking
that's why we didn't quit.
And that's one of the coolest things that happens. At least that makes me feel good about what we do here, because we introduce bands to people who have never seen them before, and they're like, I got to go check this band out sometime. And they usually do. And when they do, they report back to us and say, that was a great night out and fun. And thanks for mentioning them on your show or having them on your show. So not to pump our own tires, but we appreciate you guys being here.
Well,
thank you.
And Mrs. Hall around town as well.
And Mrs. Don't forget Mrs.
Hall around town. And you, Scott, you guys, what you do for the music community is as every other musician around, can't hardly find the words, man. And when we met you at Heather's a couple times there, it was great meeting you. Your reviews of the shows, that helps out tremendously, because like you said, people are looking, there's a lot out there. There's a lot to go see. So any given night, people can choose to spend their time and money at many different venues and watching different bands. So your shout outs and reviews and this kind of thing, just helps out tremendously.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're getting some comments here that you look like Steve Perry today.
Oh, well, I wish I could sing like you. That's
yeah, well,
that would be awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Celia will say the same. I mean,
yes, I wish I could sing like him too.
Right. So Craig said he's never seen Vinyl Countdown. If you've never seen them, you're really missing out. Check them out. Thank you for that.
And,
thank you, Craig.
Butch is here from the Standard Country Time Band. They play down at Pullman's every Wednesday, and Yeah, we're getting a lot of welcomes to Zach, so that's good. So tell Zach we're glad he's in the band. One more question, and then I got to get to Autism Rocks. I'm running along. If you guys, I do this with everybody I interview. If you could take the stage with anybody alive or dead and play a show, who would it be?
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You go
yikes.
first.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, everybody
I
has to
am
think.
gonna say, I gotta think. Gosh, there's so many good ones out there.
I'll let you
You
think
go,
about it a
'cause
second.
you got it. I
If
know you.
This is where my punk rock roots come in. I have two picks. Blink-182. It's a big influence on when I was younger and writing songs and in a band that, all of our songs were about breaking up with girls and just not taking ourselves too seriously. And plus Travis Barker is my favorite drummer on the planet right now. Not just a punk rock drummer, just amazing drummer. And then my second pick would be Night Ranger.
Love
Night Ranger is one of our favorite bands. And the one thing I say about those guys is we've seen them probably 6-7 times in the last 8-10 years. And a band of their stature and has been around as long as they have, they could easily just kind of phone it in. But every time we see them, they get better and better and better. It's like a new band. It's like a young band that are hungry. Like they keep getting better. Their show gets better. They change things up. They add things to the show. And so I really appreciate that quality. So Night Ranger and Blink-182 would be my two choices.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to shock you with this one. I am going to have to say Pat Benatar, because ever since I was probably 3 years old, I wanted to be Pat Benatar when I was a little kid. And she was tiny, and I used to be really, really tiny. And I thought, you know what? She's amazing, and I can be amazing too, and little. And of course, Joan Jett and Lita Ford, really the whole Runaways crew. I'd love to do a show with them because they were so groundbreaking. I mean, they were the first hard girl rock band that kind of made it, and they weren't treated very well for their time, but they persevered and kept going, especially Lita and Joan. So I have massive respect for those ladies because they're unapologetic and they go out and they do what they want to do and they own that stage.
Well, guys, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your insight. And everybody hopefully got a little chance to learn a little about you today. And
if I could throw one more thing in there, Scott, just real quick. I mean, everybody knows I think pretty highly of City. I've been married to her for 22 years, but I got to give a totally unbiased shout out here. If you've never seen Sia sing, and you are a Pat Benatar fan, I think she can give Pat a run for her money on the Pat Benatar songs because
he did it just like we rehearsed.
She does pretty amazing. So I think I think Pat Benatar would be lucky to sing with her as well. And on the Pat Benatar thing, that's what I'm talking about. So I always say she does Pat Benatar better than any other singer I've seen, and so I stand by that. So come check Sia out sometime at a Vinyl Countdown show.
Thank you, dear.
Well, and I love for real Night Ranger as well. I've seen them numerous times, and you're right. They are a hungry band. They're still playing like it was their first day. Cool stuff. So wonderful. All right, we've got to talk about Autism Rocks, guys. But I want to thank you for being here again. Follow them on Facebook. Vinyl Countdown Cincy, guys. Vinyl Countdown Cincy. Like their page. See where they're going and when they're playing again next. But Celia and Todd. Speaking of Cincinnati music community. On February 19th, that is this Sunday, from noon to 8, we have a great event going on at Laurie's Roadhouse. It is Autism Rocks 14. I am blessed to be one of the MCs for this event. It is a fantastic, star-studded cast of not only musicians, but legends in Cincinnati sports who will be there. The Bengals team will have the Cincinnati Reds players there. Lots of local celebrities attend this event, all because of one man, and that's Ken Anderson, who puts this alliance together. And he is one of the most humble human beings I know, does so much for the community. And I want to mention the Ken Anderson Alliance and his Live, Work, and Engage program. He's building an entire community right now for disabled individuals. And it's a place they can live and be functional and enjoy their life. And he thinks everybody should have a great life. And that's the wonderful thing about this. Now, the music lineup this day, Melodic Connections. It's an engaged group by Ken Anderson Alliance. These are disabled individuals who play music. I got a chance to see them last year. Totally off the hook great. I mean, they're so proud of what they're doing. Their instructors are so proud, and they come out and perform at the opening of this, and doors will open 11:30. Music starts at noon. Okay, so then we've got the Varner Netherton Revival with Braden Raymer, special guest, going to be there with them that day. And then we saw Billy on here, but the Billy Rock Band will be bringing it to the house at Laurie's Roadhouse. It'll be great. And we're looking forward to that one as well. I don't have a logo right now. My logo, for some reason, Crown Watts logo does not want to show up for me, but Crown Watts will be there. And if you like prog rock, Crown Watts is one of them.
Go see them.
They are so good. And this is such a great variety of players. And then we go to the country world, 41 years doing music, Stagger Lee Band.
Whoa.
Can you imagine being in a band for 41 years? I mean, think about that. That's insane.
That's impressive.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
And I had a chance, to talk to those guys down at Pullman Lanes for Hollywood's birthday party, and they're excited about playing Autism Rocks. Then our friend Johnny Fink and the Intrusion. If you like blues, Johnny's going to blow the stage away. And he's going to have Gina McCann singing a few songs with him as well, which is cool. I'll throw in a shameless plug for Johnny. He's playing at the Bell tonight with Gina, and Casey Gomez is going to join him as well tonight. So that'll be a great show. Definitely. And then ending up the night at Autism Rocks, it is the Bronson Arroyo Band. And what a better person to play this show. Bronson Arroyo, former Cincinnati Red. And if you know him, he kills the Pearl Jam and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely Pearl Jam.
What a wide variety of musicianship going on at this event. So it'll be going all day. It's $25 to get in, but for adults, let me tell you that, guys, we had some people say the other day, wow, $25.
That's it?
Yeah, it ought to be more. It ought to be more than that.
Yes.
For that many bands and that day, and to get to meet all these people you're going to meet. So love to see you there at Laurie's Roadhouse. I'll be there as one of the MCs throughout the day, and come on out and say hi if you've watched the show and I haven't met you before. I'd love to meet you guys, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Celia and Todd, you guys have been a pleasure to have on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I appreciate you so much. Let me see the last few comments here. Make sure there's nobody asking any questions. If you're watching after we're live, guys, and throw some questions in, because Vinyl Countdown will be sharing this on their page. They'll see the questions. They'll answer them as well. But we're getting some good stuff. And Brad said you got 200 husband points for that. I think
I need every point I can get.
Well, you set the bar pretty high when you put her up there with Pat Benatar. So she's got some work she has to do for sure.
Yeah, now I'm like, gosh, don't mess up.
Gary saying happy birthday to Ken Anderson today. It is his birthday.
Happy birthday.
There's a guy that doesn't look his age. I won't say how old he is, but I'll tell you, he does not look his age at all. And he doesn't.
Talking about Ken?
Ken,
yeah, I saw some pictures the other day on your page, and yeah, definitely doesn't look his age.
Yeah,
I don't know his age, but I know that he doesn't look it.
Well, he's like 14 years older than me, and I look older than he does. I'll just say that. So that's how it works. Thank you, Hollywood from Pullman Lanes, Jackie and Chris Furnish. Thank you for being here. And guys, thank you again for joining me on the program. Stick with me here. I'm going to go off the air, and we'll say bye to each other.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Go see Autism Rocks.
Thank you. Thank you for watching today, everybody. We'll be here tomorrow live at 5 o'clock with Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe and the best musicians and venues in the tri-state. Can't wait to see you then, 5 o'clock tomorrow at Hall Around Town Radio. Until then, I'm Scott Hall, your host. We're signing off for now. Bye-bye,
Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene. Show lots of love for the community.